Yeah,
The more
and
I the more I continue to follow Dragon Ball, the less like a hero Goku actually seems.
yeah, I did think something else worth mentioning was he was like, "Why do you let your brother call all the shots?" He was like, "My brother tried to kill me when he
Yeah,
was
yeah, call
younger."
back to Raditz.
Yeah,
But that's
I was like,
different. These guys actually grew up together. Him and Raditz did not grow up together.
yeah, but still, your brother's your brother.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it so much, Goku. Why don't you revive him and try to make amends? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Herbal Synergies, the shop. That's what it is, right? The shop. I've been doing this for like 56 episodes because this is episode 56. We've come a long way, and I just drew a blank on the intro.
Dang, it's because you're over there dueling.
No, I'm not doing it. I mean, it's open, but I'm not doing it. I just wanted to accept my daily shit before I forgot. You,
Hmm.
sir, are dueling.
No, not me. I don't know
Well,
what
you
you
just
speak
were
about.
dueling.
Yeah, but anyhow, yeah. Herbal Synergy Podcast, the shop.
Yeah, I'm Sinji. That's Irby. Don't switch it around. Completely different voices.
Yeah, maybe.
What's up, Irby? How you doing?
The usual. Living life and life's living me.
That. Mm, which one is it?
Both.
All right. Well, one sounds positive. The other one sounds negative, bro. Like you living life sounds really good. Life living you sounds terrible.
You might be terrible.
It's just what it sounds like. Yo, you got a flavor this week?
I do. I did enjoy the whole rack this season. This episodes. My man, my man Rack. Oh man, just the whole thing. Pretty, which is just funny. All the Rack's training exercises and stuff. Yeah, the whole chapter is funny. So we'll get more into that later. I
Well,
got that. Yeah. Hmm?
okay. Well, we're not gonna get into my flavor, so I'm just gonna rant about it as I deliver the flavor.
Okay, you could do that.
Okay, bro. Fucking Luffy awakened.
Word.
Okay, we have Gear 5.
You do.
Okay,
See, I told you we'll get a Gear 5.
no, it wasn't a question of if; it was a question of when.
Yeah, and you're gonna get a Gear 6 too.
No. This is the pinnacle. Like, this is literally this. I think now from now to the end, which should be two major arcs, is just him mastering this because for a lot of like the formula for a lot of these shonen mangas is just because you awaken something in a battle doesn't mean you know how to do it outside of the battle. Now it's just like, okay, now you need to figure out how to do this after the battle's over. But okay, that was my flavor, and now I'm gonna rant about it a little bit because I know Irby doesn't care about One Piece enough to care about spoilers, and
Sure don't.
out of the I'd say maybe out of the people who listen to us, there's bound to be maybe a couple One Piece fans, but it's not enough to be like, oh, you spoiled me. Like, spoiler alert, just don't listen to this, I guess. Luffy, for years, for years and years and years, whether you read English or Japanese or listened to it, it has been the Gum Gum or the Gomo Gomo no. Right? Irby, when you was watching for a while, it was one or the other, whether you did English or Japanese.
Forced into the sub life.
The Gum Gum fruit is not the fruit Luffy ate.
Dang. the whole show fraudulent to me now.
You didn't care about the show regardless. I'm not expecting to get an actual genuine reaction out of you, Irby, but let me tell you what this man's devil fruit actually is. It is called the sun god Nika fruit. Something along those lines. My man Luffy is the sun god Nika that has the properties of rubber. And when he awakens, it allows him to use his body the way he wants and strengthens his body. So, like, he's stronger and he can do pretty much everything he thought he had to, like, go into gear to do before. Now, let me react to this form a little bit. The form looks a lot better than what people thought it was. They thought he had goopy, dripping looking hair. He kind of has more like fire kind of style hair. Like it looks like it flames a little. But
Maybe
my
that has to
man
do.
is goofy as hell right now, bro. Like he is laughing constantly. He's got a kind of like cartoonish vibe to him now. Like he did the like when you know like in like some cartoons when you see like something coming your way, whether it's like something that looks like it's gonna hurt you, you do that face where your jaw drops and your eyes pop out of your head.
Yeah.
He had a moment like that, and then like he lifted up the ground, and then he got really buff, like kind of like a cartoon. And I'm just like, I don't really know how I feel about this, because also I don't know if I said this on the last episode, but Luffy is Joy Boy. I don't know if you were introduced to the name Joy Boy during your the watch, but it was like
Um,
one of the big names that dropped, and people wanted to know more about. And like Luffy is apparently the reincarnation of Joy Boy. So
yeah.
next chapter is gonna be fucking crazy. We're gonna see what Luffy can do with his body, which apparently he says he can do whatever he feels like he wants to do. So he has freedom of movement. Movement. He's a little cartoony, so the fight's probably gonna be good and funny. I've come across a couple of fights over the manga that I was like, man, I can't wait to see this animated. Now I really can't wait to see this fight animated.
Say, do you think that Luffy's hair is fire because he subconsciously still thinks about Ace being fire-like?
No, no, I think it's because he's the
Because he
sun
can,
god.
yeah, because he controls it. I don't know. You
I mean,
never know.
I
I mean,
mean, his
because he,
body is doing what he wants it to do, but like in the midst of transforming, I don't think he really decided like, hey, I want fire hair, and you know what I mean? It's weird. I
I
mean,
don't
you don't
know.
have to like
Subconscious are tricky.
yeah, yeah. You don't have to read it per se. Like you don't have to catch up, but like if you could read the last chapter and maybe you can react to it next week just to get
Right?
like thoughts and opinion on like how his new appearance cuz you've seen Gear 4th.
Yeah, maybe I'll read all 200 chapters and catch up.
Uh I mean,
I could do that.
you
You know what I
could if you
mean?
want, but like I'm not forcing you to. You don't really enjoy One Piece.
Hmm. I don't know. I might get the new One Piece video game.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
JRPG. I mean, the last One Piece game that wasn't Power Warriors that came out was fun. I think it was World Seeker. That was really fun. This one seems like
Yeah.
it involves the crew a little more. Like you could do different things with different crew members and like have parties, blah blah blah. So I'm definitely gonna get it because I'm a fan of the show and it looks fun. So
Yeah.
um, so you want to kick it off with? Mm, what do you want to kick it off with?
Dude, we can go ahead and kick that thing off with some do a little bit of jujitsu. Not
Jiu-jitsu?
much of the yeah, bunch of fighting,
Yeah,
you know.
there's not a lot of fighting. It's like it's finding like um. So I would say the last couple chapters of Chojin and Jujutsu, especially Chojin, because Chojin has long ass chapters, have been like okay, a lot of context here. Which Jujutsu was just setting up this fight that's going on in this chapter right now. But Chojin is just like, all right, that's 47 panels of just like setup. Can we like,
Yeah.
you know? So
I don't
now,
know if it was just setup. You had some interesting tidbits in there.
I guess, but like now we have some action. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's kick it off with Jujutsu. I'll let you take the reins on that, my good sir,
Yeah.
because
So
I kind of forgot last week's chapter.
yeah. So Yuto, apparently he wasn't using his whole full power. I was like, what? That's crazy. But turns out that he kind of shares a connection with Rika, and she could store curse energy and he could take it because they have a special connection. And the connection only lasts 5 minutes. And my man can use cursed speech, which I'm assuming that later on it has to do with like Rika's ability or or something. I was like,
Yeah,
my
so I
man
saw
used cursed
that. I'm like,
speech.
my man was doing different shit. I'm like, maybe. Well, he has like a copy ability, right? I think that's what it said.
Yeah, eventually in the next chapter they said he can copy abilities.
Which that's fucking OP. Like, what if he was able to copy Gojo's abilities? Which I don't think he can genetically do, but
Yeah, I don't think so either because you need his eyes, but he probably could copy like the shooting of the red and the blue and the purple or something. But yeah, so
I miss Gojo, man. I just talked about Gojo. Now I'm sad.
yeah, so apparently the lady he was fighting was she didn't have a name, but she was given a name, but she's supposed to be a surrogate to be murdered for something. So yeah, and they get to fighting, and he tells her that she needs to live for others and not only live for yourself. Which I think this might be a trending topic as we get into the other topics of discussion. But but yeah, so she's like, "Shut up! You can only people that have achieved something can are the ones that say that." So yeah, and then they start with the both domain expansions. Like three of them domains get in there. I was like, "Oh man, this is new territory."
What do you believe what she said?
What?
That like basically saying that people who are okay or suggest that people should be okay with what they have already have all they need.
Yeah, it's like an inner peace thing, kind
Mm-hmm.
of sort of. But
Because
yeah,
it's always so easy to like speak from the outside looking in, but like that goes both ways. When you react to someone saying that, you're also assuming that that person has what you don't have or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm. It's true in a sense. That's like, well, she was saying live for others, but he's already done everything he wanted to achieve, so that's why he's kind of living for others. So I don't know. I guess it depends on if you're a pessimist or an optimist. So that's how it
I
goes.
like to say neither. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just using two like specific examples.
Carry on my wayward son.
Yeah. So apparently, in the overlapping domain, the can't miss attacks cancel out, and they did the domain to try to keep Rika out.
Failed.
Yeah, and apparently the Kururushi guy, the Roach Man, didn't die. But it's weird how he did die, but he didn't die because his cursed hatred was so strong that
I feel
that
like
yeah he
they
came back
tried
through
their
there.
best to explain it and it wasn't good enough for me.
Yeah, I mean I understood like
I get what was going on. Like, hey, this guy's dead, but like his spirit is living on in like hatred, curse, energy. But like, I was just like,
you could think of it like in terms of supernatural how they had the bodies burnt up, but they
mm-hmm.
have a cursed object.
But it also, it just felt like thrown in there to me, you know?
Yeah,
Like it didn't like the artist didn't really know, or the author didn't really know what to do at that moment. Like, I want to do a little plot twist, which you didn't really need to do the plot twist because boom, we already had something that never happened before, three domain expansions at once, and you kind of messed it up with this bug thing we already saw and killed.
yeah,
I don't know.
Well,
I
we
think that
thought he
was
was
a
killed,
that
but
I feel like that might have been a bad decision, but I am
yeah.
unpublished and that person is, so let me shut the fuck up, I guess.
Mhm.
By the
Yeah,
way, let me sneak
so
this in there, guys. Season 1 completely done for my story. Looking to try to get published soon. That's it. Just quick plug, shameless plug. Go ahead, Irby.
yeah, so and not much happened. So Roachman distracted Euro and Yuta attacks, and Roachman chops off Euro's arm. And apparently, Ishiguro is one of the few people that can output the same power with or without curse energy. So that's another little tidbit.
Yeah, and that man packs a punch, so like, yo, how strong are you normally? What the fuck, dude? That's
Yeah,
like
because
Yuji. Yuji's fucking strong just normally.
the putting up the both domain expanses wiped out both their reserves, but he somehow still had like the energy to just go ahead and and do his granite shot. I was like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
the man's bad news, bad for business.
Yeah, but like, what's our boy's name again? Okotsu.
You talk about Yuto
Yuto, man, he be
or
looking
Yuta?
like he about to
Yeah,
fuck shit up.
he do. He's in a new movie, and they said he's an animal in there. So I was like, I might have to go watch that.
Well, the movie is Zero. It's chapter 0 that we read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it ain't it's animated.
Okay. So boom, they're facing off. We see the to be continued little thing in the bottom. What do we think's gonna happen next week?
I think there'll be some fighting going on, like
Fuck
always.
you.
Uh,
I think there'll be some fighting. Yeah, I think you're right, Irby.
yeah, there'll be some fights, and then there'll be Yuta might have another ability come out. He should be reaching his time limit with the connection with Rika.
Mm-hmm.
So
We will
yeah,
see. I mean, maybe Yuji shows up out of nowhere.
Yuji's in a whole different
We don't know that. Maybe he
area
went
of the
over.
colony.
We haven't. Yo, I'm just saying we haven't seen Yuji in a while. I'm putting it
I ain't
out
mad at
there.
that.
We seeing him next week, which will be next week because Jujutsu comes out on Sunday. We record on Saturday, so
Yeah, next
actually,
week.
no, never mind. I was gonna say because I can't do. Actually, I can't do Saturday if you're willing to wake up. No, I can't do Saturday, so we can do Sunday.
We'll discuss that later.
Okay. Moving on. Chojin, you want to do Chojin?
You got a dog, or you want me to do it because you don't remember?
No, I mean it's not that I don't remember Chojin. So like, um, let me bring up my little notes pad here because I made a couple comments and the comments would definitely help me remember as much as I want. So Tokyo and Ellie are walking around a train station, right?
Mm-hmm.
And out of nowhere, they're like, "What's that?" Ellie's like, "What's that?" And if you look really closely to Tokyo's shirt, it looks like Uramichi designed it.
Yeah, but the dogs, they finally caught up with them. Um,
Yeah. So, boom, out of nowhere, knives in my man's head. I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And he just goes down. He's bleeding, and Ellie's like, "Oh," and this chick, this paper chick, shows up out of nowhere. She's like an origami Chojin, but like everything she makes out of paper becomes like the real life properties of like the figure it takes. So like knives are as sharp and hard as knives. That paper plane she made actually made no sense to me because like it carried her like a real plane, but like it's a paper plane. Paper planes exist as paper planes, therefore it should react like a paper plane. Now you folded up
yeah,
a real looking plane, I'd understand where like it carry you like a real plane, but like that's just me being nitpicky, I guess.
sure is.
But yeah, she attacks. Yo, she gouged my girl's eye out.
with a kick too.
Yo, it was like heal, eye, gone. And then she folded up Tokyo like a piece of paper and just abducted him. I was like, bro, what the actual fuck? This chick and Tokyo said it was like we are no match for her.
Yeah, because Ellie went and tried to save him and float away, and she got kicked through the train too. I was like, dang.
Mm-hmm. And she did
So
something to Tokyo where it looks like his Chojin form broke, but the panel was breaking. I didn't know if it was his form or the panel. I couldn't tell what was going on. But
she
his
did
form
something that
definitely
like
broke.
knocked him out. Yeah,
Yeah, and then she abducted him. Ellie tried to save her and then kicked her in the face and took her eye out and knocked her out, and then she folded him away, put him away.
yeah.
So now they're trying to find Tokyo, and his friend. What's the cool guy name?
Azuma.
Azuma wants to help, and like they were like, no, it's too dangerous. What if something happens to you? And he goes off and does it anyway, like a typical fucking dumbass. But maybe next chapter is where Azuma awakens his Chojin abilities.
No, he's just a regular human being.
I don't know.
Just a regular human
And while that
being.
and while that's happening, Tokyo wakes up in paper form and his stomach growls. And it's like my stomach can growl. And Squid Face offers him some pizza.
Yeah,
Then to be continued.
yeah. So
Okay, so predictions for next week. I gave you mine. I said I think Azuma is awakening as a Chojin sometime soon.
I think Azuma gets trashed, and Tokyo fully beastifications to save his friend.
I mean, yes, I guess. I mean, if we want to go the typical route, sure.
And it will, because that's
Main character
Shonen's
gets
MO.
power up because friends in danger.
Sounds about One Piece.
Damn. Damn. Yeah, my bad, bro. I'm editing that out. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, so and it's getting better. I feel like they took a whole long hiatus to get there though. So
It was okay, so like remember what I was saying last week about a lot of these shows will start off slow just to like ease you into like the tough shit.
yeah,
Chojin kind of did like a Boruto thing where like it brought you in and then it started slowly kicking you out. It's like, yo, what are we doing here? That was a lot of action. It's getting real slow.
I
Not
was
much.
okay with the Choji's pacing.
I don't know, man. For the long chapters, I kind of needed a little more. It's like they gave you filler.
But
It,
it's the manga, so it can't be filler.
but it can't be filler. But like they put in little stories that like ultimately didn't matter.
Yeah,
Like the baseball, the sinker Trojan. That dude didn't matter. We're never gonna hear about that guy again. Maybe.
it kind of that kind of laid the ground frame for the way he wants to be a hero, though.
Yeah, but he's still uncertain. So I don't know.
Yeah,
He's not like my man Naruto. Believe it. He's kind of just
yeah,
like, do I want to do this? Oh, she cute. Maybe
yeah,
I should do this. Nah, I don't know about doing this.
yeah,
I mean, Ellie's doing it. Should I do it? That's my man Tokyo.
yeah. Tokyo drift. But yeah, so yeah, we got some super to talk about. Did you read chapter 82?
I do. It's been so long. I forgot that we had the. I did read it. I did 100%. I've been waiting on AU, my dude.
Yeah.
So Super and Boruto. Shit. All right. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me just bring up the chapter. I'll talk about Super. You can talk about Boruto.
So
If
not
you want to
much
bring up
for
Boruto now, yeah. If you want to bring up
yeah,
Boruto now,
not much for Boruto. They talk about how Mushi can't be resurrected now because he saved Boruto, and then Sasuke shows up with some intel, and he tells him what he knows where Code's located, and they don't really know. And then Code learns that Boruto is still alive, and apparently everything's under wraps because they don't want to know. They don't want to tell people how things transpired, how he got the mark on his chest, and how Kawaki basically tried to kill him. So they're keeping it all under wraps. And Code learns Boruto's still alive, cause of good fortune. And then Shikamaru goes and confronts Armando for what he did. And then Code comes through the scratch mark on the back of Shikamaru's neck and grabs Armando and wants him to get his limiters removed. And then they get to fight, and Shikamaru's like, "Oh, you didn't think I would notice the scratches on my neck?" And so he's like, "I figured you make your move once I was alone with Armando with minimal guards." So my man had a big brain play. I thought he didn't notice it all along, but he did. And apparently Delta, you remember that lady that Naruto fought and used a big giant Rasengan on?
Mm-hmm.
They reprogrammed her, and her name is now Bronco, and she is fighting Code as of now. And then he drags Ida through the claw mark. So that was it. Not much there.
It's so weird what they're doing to like Naruto and Boruto now. Like just the enemies that they went with. Like I feel like somewhere along the way we just got tired of ninjas as
Yeah,
ninjas. Like it's a ninja show slash like manga, but like fuck that ninja beef. Let's throw in some aliens.
yeah.
But like, it's not that I mind it, but like, let's exhaust all our options first. Like, hey, that's how we had some beef with the hidden sand. We had some beef with the hidden mist. Throw in the rock, uh, the sound village. Blah blah blah. Like, you could have made all these different arcs and like expanded upon the search for Orochimaru and Sasuke. But like, it was kind of like you got Sasuke sometimes. Sasuke is secretly like the hidden other main character, so you get to see his weird mind process on how he's just mad at the world, and then boom, aliens.
In Boruto, they don't have a need for all sorts of other stuff because it's peacetime.
And yeah, that's why they did it because it's just like, well, now it's peaceful. There's no point of having any ninja beasts. Let's just dive into the alien stuff.
Yeah, but
Um,
they did have aliens in Naruto's time, so
and like before Shippuden.
well, not in Shippuden, but like after yeah, it was in Shippuden because that's when all the stuff came out and they were
Yeah,
learning
yeah,
about the
during the
chakra.
war.
Yeah,
I'd say before the war was peak Naruto. Like
I don't know.
I accepted the chakra mode. You know, I was kind of hype about it. I'm not gonna lie. The training for chakra mode. Oh, okay. He met his mom. He met his dad. He can control the Nine Tails Fox a little better now. And then my dudes Naruto and Sasuke were playing Gundam. They were in
They wasn't
space at
playing
one point. They
Gundam.
were fighting on the moon. Herbie.
That was the board. That was the Naruto the last movie. That's completely different.
I'm just saying, like, how could they breathe?
So, I don't know. It just happened that way.
Okay, all right. You ready to talk about some Dragon Ball?
Yeah, dog.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys in the speediest way because I just skimmed through and like, oh, now I remember this episode. All that happened this chapter of Dragon Ball was Goku instant transmission all the way throughout the universes and the universe, galaxies, blah blah blah, as far as he could, with Gas chasing him until he landed on a planet where conveniently Whist was there, and he dropped him off, and then instant transmission even faster back to the original planet they were on. But he told Gas like, "Yo, Whis is an angel," just to let him know, like, "Hey, don't do nothing stupid, because I can end your whole existence." So when it's Goku left, and then Gas was confused why he couldn't follow him, it was like, "Oh, he literally brought you out of here and then went back out of your range on purpose." So Gas just decides, "Well, I'm gonna fucking fly over there then." And
Yeah.
Goku makes it back to them. And I'm like, "Oh, where is he?" I'm like, "Oh, left him with Whis or whatever. It won't be long before he gets back. Let's do what we got to do." The Namekian reveals a scouter, Bardock's scouter,
Yep.
and they play some old data that was on there, and the words "stay alive" come up, and Goku has like a moment where like he remembered his mom and dad. But
Yeah.
immediately, as soon as you get drawn into that, surprise! Now there's a
Drawn.
backstory. Now we're
Yeah.
watching the Bardock and Gas fight, and it's just like, I don't care about this shit. What
So
happened to
yeah.
Goku?
Yeah, there was some one thing I did think was funny is when he teleported and Manaka was there and dumps some sludge onto Gas. And Goku's like, "Oh man, go clean up in the river. I'll wait till you finish cleaning up the fight." And Gas is like, "Ah, I'll just fight you now."
And
I'm
he
like,
just
"Dang."
teleported him into a bathtub.
Yeah, that was a funny sequence.
Goku's a troll, bro.
Yeah,
The more
and
I the more I continue to follow Dragon Ball, the less like a hero Goku actually seems.
yeah, I did think something else worth mentioning was he was like, "Why do you let your brother call all the shots?" He was like, "My brother tried to kill me when he
Yeah,
was
yeah, call
younger."
back to Raditz.
Yeah,
But that's
I was like,
different. These guys actually grew up together. Him and Raditz did not grow up together.
yeah, but still your brother's your brother.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it so much, Goku. Why don't you revive him and try to make amends?
I don't think Raditz serves any plot hole devices in this point.
No,
Anyway,
no, not really. But like, if Goku wanted to, like, theoretically, yeah, well, he could just wish for his dad back if he
yeah, he
wanted to.
could. Yeah, his dad probably exists in the counter universe somewhere.
I don't even think a counter universe. It's like it's in that universe, but I don't know what Well, actually, no, because we've seen in Dragon Ball Z that like even if you die, you're not an Earthling. You end up in the same line for King Yama to like
Yama.
approve you. I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll
Yeah,
do something with Bardock. Maybe Goku would meet his dad and his mom. I don't know. I don't think so, but yeah, it's not out of the question. It's clearly they want to keep Dragon Ball running as long as possible.
yeah. But someday it has to end.
You think
Unlike some
that day
other show I
comes and then
know.
it's just like surprise, motherfucker, new arc.
Yeah, I'd rather that than just having one long continuous
Okay,
thing
all right,
going.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, yeah. So Boruto and that. I guess we can kick it off with some TOG.
Yeah,
So
we have
this
a
week,
lot to talk about this week.
yeah. So so this week, Tower of God episodes.
Wait, wait, wait. I just have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
Do you know my question?
No, I said I'll have an answer for you.
Okay, all right. Did eating rock produce rock?
I don't think it produced rock, but it they do explain what happened.
Nah, Kun was mad as fuck, bro.
Yeah, he was mad.
He was like, he ate a rock and he made rock.
Yeah, but anyhow, so
All right, what chapters are you on so I can keep up with you?
I'm on 293 to 300. YG 300. So, um, apparently Bam missed his shot because he doesn't know how to yet to control it. So Kisea surrenders because she knows she can't beat him.
She was
Uh,
like, "Fuck that."
yeah, Kun and Rack are having trouble with Viol. Kun and Rack exchange words, and Rack, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, so what happens is Bio's up in the air and he's like, "You gotta hit it," and Rack's like, "I can't hit it when it's moved so fast." And Kun's like, "You don't get it. It's a spirit bearer's job to hit it." And so that little exchange was funny. And then Vio hits Kun with an attack and kind of like I don't know how he didn't blow Kun's insides out, but like it left him like bloody mess. I guess that's part of even though it's his sworn enemy's Bam. Like I guess he doesn't want to kill still. I don't know. That's how I can explain it. Because somehow Kun's still alive. You know, he's like his shirt's had a big old hole and he's bleeding. And and then he goes to attack again, and my man Rat produces a shield. I'm like, oh snap!
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, and and Kun's like, you ate a rock and it actually came out. And Kun's like, how did he do it before me? How did he do it before me? And then Kun has a flashback to when he was a child. He knew he was fishing and he skipped a test, and his sister Maria came to get him. And Kun's like, oh, I only want to work hard on things I was certain of. And she's like, oh, I'm the opposite. Said struggling to get stronger in order to survive is actually beautiful. But Kun said struggling in order to survive was pathetic. So, and all this came about because he was thinking about how he's keeping Bam down. And then he started thinking about how he was treating them more than like teammates, like they were actually meaningful to him. And he recalls Maria's words that you have to struggle in order to find something. And so Kun like grabs a spear and he coats it in ice.
I
And
think
Rack
Rack's
has,
reaction was
mm,
something.
yeah, I don't think he saw him grab the spear out, but Rack's
Yeah.
like, he's like, how did he do? How did that turtle do it before me? And I was like, so they just like flip spots. So then Kun says to Rack, a human would never lose to a stupid alligator like you. And then Rack proceeds to eat more rocks.
Yeah.
And Rack,
I can't, bro. Rack. I can't.
I, Rack's funny. I would watch. I would read a whole spinoff series of just Rack by himself.
I don't know, man, because like Sui, I think that's the name of the author creator. Sui, where I'm at right now, this shit is off the fucking walls. Like I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what end we're working towards, but I'm still enjoying it. So
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's cool. So so Rack proceeds to eat more rocks, and his sworn enemy is going to attack. And Bam turns out the rapid fire Shinsu cannon. And he tries out a new technique, spatial control, because I think I can control everything in here. And we find that Candy's sworn enemy was a toy that her father had given her that broke her teeth because she ate too much candy as she was a child. And Fawn Skittle, Yuri, is that's her enemy, and it's her uncle. So Khan, flashback to Khan, he puts a lighthouse above Yo so that he can't fly and trapped him on both sides. And then Edon's like, oh, that boy has some skill. And Rack is back to eating rocks, and they start coating his fingers. So that was another one. And then Machini's not actually dead. And she's like, I really enjoyed the fight. And she's fighting Jihad again.
hmm.
So, so then Flash Hockney's group, and they find the wall that leads to the sea. The big breeder shows up, tells them that the mirror has been moved, and he's going to annihilate them. And Jihad is beating Machini up again, and Asensio tries to help, but it didn't work out too well. And Machini's body finally gives out. Then the breeder informed Jihad that he's taking care of the intruders. And Jihad's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have did that." He's like, "Don't do it again." And we flash to Bam. He's continued to work on the orb. The power's growing, and Rack gets rock skin on his arms. And then Idahan is questioned if Rack could be the native one, which
Hey, we got some insight.
yeah, which it's not rocked and get rock or whatever. So it's more so I would say the elements bended towards what Rack wanted to do. So
Now, um, I know a little more about what's going on with Rack, obviously, but
mm,
considering the basis of the energy in this world, where Shinsu is pretty much your life, and it can prolong your life, it can make your skin as tough as bones if you want it. I don't really think there's any need for Rack to have rock covered skin, but maybe it'll, I don't know.
maybe who knows? Mm. But yeah, so that happened, and let's see. Yeah, so Rack shows kind of his progress. Like, look at my arms, and I kind of feel like I was thinking that it's not really their doing, but Kun used a spear as a medium for his like actual power. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like one of those ones where it's like, oh, like let me use a medium for this, and
Yeah,
so it's
because like he
this.
said, he couldn't create a spear right now, but with this, I can just coat it in ice and pretty much have almost the same effect.
Yeah.
Because
So
you also got to factor in this is still training for them.
yeah, there was a show that I was thinking about where they use like a spirit medium to get the whole thing out. So um, but yeah, so then Idahan's like, oh, hey you. He starts on the Rack and hey you alligator, and Rack's like, I guess every Tom, Dick, and Harry is calling me alligator now. So yeah, it's Rack, the native one. I was like, oh.
And Rakta has no idea.
He's like, I don't know. He's like, is that a food? So Idahan says it refers to the descendants of the giant that lived in the tower. The giant split his body into other pieces to create descendants, and they were powerful and could control the elements. And the descendants that Idahan saw previously were only able to change the form within themselves, but Rek has the element attaching to him. And Jihad killed all the natives on the outside. And I'm like, why did he kill them? I guess he feared that they would be too strong for him. I don't know. Who knows? And apparently they're like all the pure bloods. And then while they're talking, Viol escapes.
And has a very deep moment with my boy Bam.
Yeah. So he escapes. Um, he's like, why don't you kill me? And Bam's like, kind of interjects like Bam doesn't want to kill. And I think Viol is something like Bam didn't think he wanted to be or wish he didn't have to be. So, and it they tell you later that it's due to that Viol's like his lonely side. So Viol charges Cunninrack and tells him they don't know how hard he fought and how hard he fought alone in order to protect them, and how lonely it was for him to be in Fug. And the real sworn enemy was just him being lonely. Bam talks to Viol, and then somehow Viol is absorbed in his orb.
Bro, man, I didn't. When I first read this, I was like, bro, I know they're like sworn enemies, but that data seemed like it had real emotions.
Yeah,
Like my man got triggered.
he did. So then I guess that was part of like Bam's feelings too. So I don't know. But then uh, he gets absorbed the orb, and the little orb. I guess I don't know who's in the orb, but they fly and they see young kid Manzino, and then I say a plan is afoot. And Manzino's covering the error messages, and apparently he's a defect, and so yeah, we flesh Yura. She defeats her uncle, and she's like, "Oh, I found the key to my dreams." And she's like, "Oh, it's Bam." And I'm like, "Oh, here we go, another Bam clinger on her right here." Yeah, and then Idahan can't get in contact with his children, and he figures I must be dead, and he doesn't know if they plan work to get the mirror. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna teach Bam how to reach the next stage," and he teaches him a revolution. And he's like, "Oh, this training can awaken power or kill you." And Manzino was playing video games, and I kind of was like, "Is he playing the games? Like, is he like the sworn enemy chasing people?" Like, I was like, "What is he doing?" So, because it had definitely had the swords up that what you call him was fighting. White was fighting, so I was like, "Huh, interesting." So
I who now that I like going through this with you now because like it reminds me of things and like I just realized someone I want to know a lot more about is that pink hair lady floating on the pillow.
yeah, I feel like she had some unique powers.
But if it
So
wasn't
I don't
implied
know.
already, I know nothing about her still.
Yeah. So so then that happens, and yeah.
Look at this cheeky
Uh
bastard, bro. I wish I had a camera. This fucking cat is laying in my clothes bin on my clean clothes.
mm, not so clean now, are they?
Ah, it's actually the bin I dump my leftover clothes in the bin so I can wash clothes. So like everything I wear is in the second bin. He's in the first one. How I get extra clothes throughout the week, I don't know, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So next chapter, Kun starts the quest, and Bam is done with training and is resting. And Kun defeats the monster, and they make it to arena for Bam to fight Jihad. And the orb tells Kun and company their friends failed, and then White and company shows up in the elevator that they were riding and attacks. Jihad tells Bam the rules of the duel. They have to destroy an orb to win. Bam and Jihad start to fight. Says Bam has improved during Bam's training with the revolution. He saw his sworn enemy in there, which I was like, that's weird. And Bam tells the inner self that he needs enough power to rule the world. I'm like, oh, okay. And the reason Bam says that is because he's like, if I don't have enough power, then I probably won't ever defeat uh, Jihad, who's the current king. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So so that happens, and let's see. And he starts talking about his own faint existence. Like he's like, the more I learned about myself, the more I find um how, how faint my own existence feels. Like he's like the son of V that has to go in and try to like save the tower and save everybody and do this, and he has like a whole lot to live up to, and he's just like, I don't really know anymore. So that all happens, and so yeah, then he tells well, Vo tells him, whether you're alone or not, you've like always been alone, and you don't need someone to um, note I guess essentially said you don't need someone to like validate your own self in a way. And Mazzino flashed back to Cunningham. Mazzino tells them they have to work together to destroy the scale that shows the past.
Now, I was also trying to keep up with you while I was listening. I may have missed it. Did you note what the blue monster said inside of Bam? Because I thought that was kind of funny. It was just like, why do you keep shoving things in here?
Yeah, I did, but I don't think that's too pertinent.
Oh, okay. I just thought it was a funny moment. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, not as funny as Rack.
Rack is funny. Yes, yes, yes. So was
Yeah.
that the last chapter? Are we done?
No, I got a little bit more, and
All
then
right.
I'll be done.
Let's
So,
go.
Han Yan Su asks, "Is that really Uruk?" And he's like, "Oh, I thought he would look like a real pervert," which is kind of funny. But then we learned that it's not him; it's just the data, and it's unstable because it was copied incorrectly. And Uruk smashed up the mirror because he couldn't fathom the idea of an improperly formed copy of himself existing. And so they, because there was an error, he created a room. It created a room in the data system that all things that are corrupted go. And this happened, and there was like a change in people when people started to become more human-like. And the orb wants to leave the data place, and the belief is that the scale can turn people into data, and can turn data into people. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. And the orb then tells him Icarus is Rachel, and he has their other companions, and they are shown the hidden floor, and they have to pass through to get to the mirror. And Jihad destroys an orb, and Bam launches his attack, and it's getting serious. So that's all. That's all, folks.
All right. So, Tower of God spicing up. How do you feel about it right now, Irby?
Yeah, it's cool. I'm liking it. I'm digging it. What it's putting down. I ain't mad at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We are not done yet, folks. We still have Love of Kill and Over. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot. Overlord. I drew a blank on the. I think I need mental help, dude.
You might need it. I don't know, dog.
Shit. Which one do you want to attack first?
We could do Overlord first.
All right, let's do a little Overlord. All right. Episode 4, Ruler of Death. So in this episode, it is now completely like out there that this kingdom is coming to kill this dude. They're here for this dude, and Ainz was like the commander chief, and the commander chief asked Ainz for help. He was like, I can't do that, but here, take this. Hands him a gift. For me, thank you. Could you help the villagers escape? It's like, that really, I think he said something along the lines that really won't be necessary, but good luck on your endeavors.
Yeah, something like that.
So they
He
start
told him not to
fighting.
worry.
These guys are summoning angels, which the leader got something that he can use as a last resort. And my guy, Commander Chief, is actually putting in work. Like, he is a tough nut to crack. He is slaying essentially monsters because they're from the other world. These angels, quote unquote, are from the other world where Ainz is from. So I'm just going to be convinced that they're monsters for the sake of the story. Okay? Cool?
Yeah,
Cool.
cool.
So he is slaying them, but like they just keep summoning more and more and more, and then eventually the numbers gets my guy. And right before he is killed, and he's ready for this, boom, swap. Now Ainz is in, Commander Chiefs is out. How he had time to swap everyone else, I don't know, because he only gave one guy the gift. Unless it just worked for everyone, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's like an area effect or something.
Yeah, it is like a world based on a game, so like it probably was like, hey, swap with everyone and their party.
Yeah.
And then Ainz was like he just wiped out all of them, and he was just
Yeah.
ultimate flex. And I'm gonna tell you what you told him. Blah blah blah. Do you want to do this or should I end it quickly? And they attacked. And I was like, maybe you didn't hear me. Now I'm just gonna end your miserable life. Okay, so homie was like, oh, I have my last resort. I'ma summon this. And then Ainz was like, ooh, getting kind of nervous. Angel comes out. He's like, that's it? That's all you got? One hits the super bad angel monster thing. And then homie goes from you're done to Lord Ainz, I have seen the errors in my ways. You can kill all these fools, but spare me. And he's like, what? Nah, fam.
You
Nah.
gotta die
You
too.
gotta die.
All rats gotta die, even Master Splinter.
And then, he kills the guys, and then he tells before he actually does that, there was a moment where Ainz actually let himself get hit, and Albedo went nuts. But after all this said and done, he goes back to his guild, and he said, "I will now go by Ainz Al Ghul, I think his name is. Spread my
Yeah.
name everywhere." And then he has a little thought in his head: if my friends are here, I will find them. Which then I had a thought to myself. I'm like, oh, if your friends were in this world, they'd be at the guild with you saying bye before you got teleported here. What makes you think your friends are in this world? Why? What? No. That was my
Yeah.
thought process there.
Yeah.
Could I be wrong?
I
Sure. I don't know. We got 3 seasons. Surprised me, I guess.
3 seasons.
Yeah, there's 3 seasons of this, Herbie. You're in it for the long haul, dog.
You in it for the long haul.
Damn.
I ain't watched these past 3 episodes.
Okay, so episode 5. I'm gonna do episode 5 and 6 together because there's really no point of doing them separate. So episode 5, Two Venturers. Episode 6, Journey. In episode 5, we somehow end up in a town. Well, before we went there, Alberta was trying to give herself to Ainz. And he was like, nah, bruh, I made you that way. So it wouldn't be right. And she was trying to convince him that it was okay. It's like, if he created me, then he'd be happy I'd be with the strongest person in the world. Take me. And then the vampire bitch showed up, and they go into their jealousy argument. And Alberta is like, you think I didn't notice you stuffed your bra? Whore. And then Ain's just like, enough, God, you guys are acting like children. But then we teleport into a town. And I was just like, okay, why are we at this town? What are we doing here? What's going on? And my man has a plan, but he needs money. He needs a high rank. And apparently he wants to go by the name Momon. And he brings a girl with him that I don't recall meeting named Naburo, I think. But in this town, her name is Nabe. They
Yeah.
end up going on a protection mission with a group of guys that they met because the guys just wanted. I don't know what their intentions were. It wasn't really like. I guess that their intentions didn't matter enough to like go in depth to it. They were just being nice. But they're hunting, they're
I
doing their
think
thing.
it was yeah, I think it was more so due to the fact that they were bronze plated and they kind of wanted to look out for them. So I don't know.
It could be, yeah, it could be that. And no big deal. Protection mission. These guys are OP, and the other guys they're not bad. So the protecting part went down smooth. The next noteworthy thing that happens the in episode 6, that's when we actually got somewhere good, is Ainz was actually like opening up a little about the guys he used to run the game with, blah blah blah, and like these guys they're starting to like him, especially the younger one. He's like, maybe you'll find teammates like them again or like friends like them again. And like my man Snap's like, no, never gonna happen. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go eat over there. And then Nabe is just like, I will join you.
Yeah, because it made up that the thing where
They can't eat with people
yeah,
after they've taken lives, but yet they're eating together.
yeah, some
It was a bad lie.
yeah, it's a bad lie. But it be like that. You can't lie 'em all, I suppose.
But I'm excited to see my man's true power because tournament winner.
Yeah, maybe. Just feels like it's Destiny animated right here.
Yo, I'm telling you, if this man doesn't impress me, P, I'm coming for you on that title. I'm like, I will restart that tournament. Same people, same matchups.
You
We have
not
one
acting
coming up. We got to
strong.
start talking about what tournament we're gonna do in on episode 60. But we'll get into that. Irby, love is life,
Love of kill.
love of kill, love is life, love of kill.
No, you can't say it's the same.
It's
So
it's the same.
so no. Love of kill. Love of life is different. You like taking life or you like living life. But anyhow, so Chateau
Love of life
goes
sounds like up your speed.
it is. So Chateau goes to visit the grave of her father, and her boss goes and visits Chateau's mother. My man's only 25, but I thought he was 35. And so then we find out Chateau's real name was Chateau Noble, and she has a whole past. How she's found in the car with Ryung Ha was the guy she found with, but so she goes to church and visits the nun, and Rion is waiting for her, and so people show up at the church, and they were at the chateau, and the web faced man came back and takes the priestess nun, and he this is almost my flavor if it turned out better, but it didn't. He tells her to get on the ground and drop her weapon, and she pulls out a slick stun gun with a slick maneuver when he comes over to like handcuff her. And so she zaps him, but it doesn't work because all his nerve endings are fried.
I'm telling you, man, she's in the wrong field. She always gets the like someone always gets the upper hand on her.
I think that was just bad luck fighting a guy that
Can drugs do that? By the way, I didn't fact check that, but I questioned it.
I did too. Because I was like, is that even possible?
I was like, yeah, can drugs do that?
Yeah. And it's like I'm not
I
sure.
mean, maybe mentally fried, yeah, I guess, but like your nerves?
Yeah, I don't know. But so they flash back to what they thought was a kidnapping, and they try to get some answers from the young girl. She didn't have any answers, and the detective that was questioning her, that's actually saved her, he was the only one that she like gravitated to. He retires, and then he adopts her. And this is when we find out Ryong Han Sa was the boy that she was found with, and I kind of think that was Ryong's older brother or akin to him or something.
I mean, so tell me if you agree with this or not. 100% in my head. Hold on, excuse me. 100% in my head. Ryung Ha, the one we know, is given that name after that guy dies.
Yeah.
In my head, not confirmed
Well,
because we don't
well,
know time frames. Like we don't know how old he is, how old she was, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
well.
But
There's two different names. Like, I think the guy that died was like Riyang Ha, and then his is like Rion. It's I have to look at the spelling again, but I feel
and
like
I
they're
think
two
it's the
different
same name,
names.
dude. And
Not too
also
sure.
the chief mentioned Noble, like Chateau's other last name before it was changed to what it currently is, and that got a
Yeah,
reaction out of him. So he knows the guy in the car. I think.
yeah. That's why which lead me to believe that that's like his older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right, I'm
I
listening.
don't know, but yeah. So then the car goes. The car that should end was rigged to explode, and it does. So then we kind of hit like a little flashback here, and so we find out that Chateau's in that line of work because he's looking for something. And then Rion talks to the guy, and he says the last words of Song Yu was, "I hope that you two can get along." And then so the fighting starts, and he shoots up Web Guy, and he saves her, and but he ends up getting stabbed in the process of shooting him up because I guess
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't feel anything. And he carries her away. Then he collapses due to blood loss. And then a guy on a motorcycle asks if he said, "Can I kill them both?" I'm like, "Oh, did you watching it in sub?"
I'm watching that in sub, and for some reason, I'm
Okay,
watching Overlord in dub.
I'll say because in the dub, the guy that's talking is Puck's voice. I was like, "Oh, it's Puck. Puck's a killer."
Oh no, I would have hated that. I don't like that. I don't like this one. Okay, one of the reasons I like watching sub is so I don't think of other characters um when I'm watching a
Watching
show.
stuff. Yeah,
I mean, it's good for some people, but like not everyone can like pull off a different character. So like I just don't. I'd rather not know. But yeah,
yeah,
my man Puck is the child sociopath. Okay, carry on.
yeah. And I was like, "Oh, it's just him." So she gets into a clinic with the help of a coworker, Jim, and then she concocts a plan to let him escape as she fakes sleep. And I thought it was funny how she was like, "Yeah, you just go out that way," and she starts fake snoring. I was
Zzz,
like, "That's
zzz.
cute." And then so then she has a dream where she's going on a where she has a dream where she like can't sleep well, and then they find out the next day she's going on a cruise trip, and let's see, then Rayon's also on the ship, and the guy that wants to kill them's also on the ship. I was like, "Ooh, snap! Everyone's on the ship." So then the next episode, Dark Dream, Ryung Han Sa's story. Uh, I guess the client is like her boss's wife, and I was like, "Oh man, Hat's Ritzland." And then so Rion eventually goes talks to Chateau, and he's like, "Oh, is that juice you're drinking?" And then
Well,
she like,
I think it's his cousin, but like in Japan, I think it's okay to be with your cousin.
"Oh, I'm not too sure."
I don't know the culture over there either, but like I'm pretty sure he said like that's his cousin, and they're pretending to be wife and husband. But like the scenes they have like alone in a room makes you think like, hey, she's actually into this dude who
Yeah,
is her cousin. But
yeah. I
again, I
thought
don't know the culture. I think it's
they were
okay.
actually dating. So
Oh, you think they're actually dating?
yeah,
I don't think so.
and I thought they were dating, but it was actually just like the ruse that made more sense for it to be on the ship.
I don't know, but hey, maybe.
Yeah. So then Rayon's like, "Oh, imagine if I was actually here to kill your client." And then so he makes the proposition. He's like, "Hey, if you watch me, I won't do anything." And so they take him up on it. And so he's like, "Oh, aren't you tired? You should go to bed." And he's like, "You should rest in the bed." And so she's like, "No, I'm sleeping on the couch." And so he asks her, she has trouble sleeping because of bad dreams and this that, and the other. And eventually he's like, "Oh, you take the bed and I'll take the couch." And she's like, "No." And then so he forcefully picks her up and puts her in the bed, and he just sits there and watches her, and she goes to sleep mad quick. So I guess something about him eases her mind. And
Something that happened in that scene that like I'm kind of like okay. we didn't question this was they have a camera monitoring that room and they didn't go to sleep. Like the boss fell asleep with cousin, wife, girlfriend, whatever. But my man, Jim, Jim,
Yeah.
my man
Jim.
Jim was watching and didn't question him grabbing the gun.
Yeah, I was like, he took the gun out of her hand while she was asleep.
Red flags.
But it wasn't like he took it and like held on to it. He like
No,
took
no,
it and
yeah,
put
but
it somewhere else. Yeah.
from their end, that should be red flag. We know he wasn't gonna do anything, allegedly,
Yeah.
but they didn't.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. So as he fell asleep, he stays in bed next to her and he's wondering why she doesn't have any well, the next day, he's wondering. They eat breakfast. He's like wondering why she doesn't have any other clothes because she stands out and she's not exactly blended in because all she has is the pantsuit and she doesn't look like a tourist. So so then that happens and they go clothes shopping and
My girl was looking right in that dress.
yeah, and I was like, oh, so she opens he's like, oh, you take too long. You look like you need some help, and so he opens it up and her dress is right there and she's all flustered
Yeah, which
and
they
then
definitely wanted you to think she was naked.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then so the next day, um, her boss calls and wants to talk to Rayon, and he mentions her real name. And he's like, you know how they do,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to meet tonight. And then my man gets stabbed. Her boss gets stabbed. I'm like, oh no.
Okay, so he gets stabbed in the throat. Um, that's the end of the episode. Let's
Yeah,
talk about that a little bit. One,
yeah. Let's talk
do you
about it.
think he's dead?
I mean, there's an off chance that he could not be dead. So, but I definitely think he might have been bleeding out pretty profusely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you know it's anime, so there's a chance he'll survive. Do you think my man's gonna live?
I would put probability of him living at like 20%.
Okay.
It's not
Now
improbable, but
we know just on what my guy was wearing that Ryung Ha wasn't the guy who killed him, but he's obviously gonna be the one who's blamed.
yeah,
Do we think it was the sociopath Puck?
I think so.
Right? Which would still a little. I'm a little iffy on that because he was only after either Rihanna or Chateau. I don't really know how to say her name right now.
Yeah.
But so like no real reason to kill the boss other than to frame Rihanna and put a wedge between them. But I don't know. That was a good cliffhanger.
It was. I was like, oh no. I was just getting ready to watch the next one. I was
All
like, I
right.
can't believe it.
Um. Nah, we had a pretty eventful episode. Irby, you
Yeah.
got anything you wanna say?
No, I got nothing I want to say.
All right, guys. That's been
Except stay classy.
stay classy. All right, cool, 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 cool. Guys, that was Herbal Synergy, and we will we'll catch you next week, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and spread the love.
Yeah. Talk to you later.
Peace.
Peace.